This time on SCV In The Movies, we have us a film featuring the father of all movie cowboys. From our own Santa Clarita Valley, William S. Hart, starring in The Toll Gate.
And if that weren't enough, we're going to speak to the movie's music composer, Mr. Ray Lowe.
Right here on SCV In The Movies.
Well, welcome back, friends, to another edition of SCV In The Movies. I'm E.J. Stevens.
And I'm Bill West.
You know, folks, we deal in entertainment with SCV connections.
Now, sometimes we show movies, sometimes we interview guests. This time around, we got both.
That's right. For our movie, we're featuring one of the best ever made by a fellow that used to live up the hill from us here in Newhall, Mr. William S. Hart.
Yep, and it's The Toll Gate from 1920, considered by many, including Hart, to be his best film. It was produced by Hart, co-written by Hart, with an ending contributed by Hart's sister, Mary Ellen.
And for our guests, we're pleased to welcome Ray Lowe, who composed and performed the music to go with The Toll Gate at this year's Silence Under the Stars.
That's the very popular annual event put on by the Friends of Hart Park, where we show one of Hart's films with live accompaniment by Ray Lowe outside, under the stars. So, EJ, this year we get both the movie and the composer. 2
SCV connections for the price of one.
That price being free, but it's a real bargain.
And we've got some surprises coming up along the way, right here on SCV In The Movies.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Well, welcome back to SCV In The Movies. As we said, we're about to show The Toll Gate, one of Hart's best films from 1920.
And we're especially pleased to introduce you to the fellow that composed and performed the music at this year's Silence Under the Stars, Ray Lowe. Hi, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Hi, guys.
So glad you could make it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
How did you come to be involved with Silence Under the Stars?
Well, it started about 14 years ago. My daughter was in college and was the intern at the Hart Museum one summer. And so as a result of that, we, parental units came to our first Silence at the Under the Stars, and it was a fabulous, enjoyable sort of thing. And I realized that I could probably contribute something to the music aspect of that. And so I threw some music down on a CD, I sent it into the board, and I said, hey, I'd be willing to do this for you. And by the way, I'd do it for free. Maybe that was the hook.
That was your mistake.
Free is good.
Yeah. So the next year I did it, and the rest is history.
And for 15 years you've been doing it at that same great price. And we
Yeah,
appreciate
same
that.
great price. Yes, yes.
So, well, I tell you what, we're going to triple your salary.
There you go.
Great. I was going to hold out for an increase.
Now, by trade, you're not a musician. I mean, that's not where you're in your paycheck, right?
I do not make my living as a musician. I was trained through college as a musician. My lifelong dream as a child was to go to college and major in music, which I did. And then I thought, gee, I don't really want to be a concert pianist. I'm looking at all these other people in school with me, and they're like awesome. And I look at myself and I go, you know, you're not that awesome.
We think you are.
See, us mere mortals would never,
Yeah, we'd
think
never
you're
draw
incredible.
that conclusion.
Yeah, because you are awesome, as the audience will see here in a bit.
Well, I have decided instead, and I teach our two children this too, who are now adults, and I said, look, if you have talent, it's really a gift. It doesn't matter if you use it to make a living or not, but you do have to use it. So since I'm not using it to make a living, I feel like it's necessary for me to give back in some way using what gifts I have. So.
Well, you certainly do that. How did you pick keyboard? Was that because you were, was that just the natural choice for you? Or?
My older sister picked the keyboard, the piano, and she's 3 years older than I was, and she started taking piano lessons, and I was age 4, and after her lessons, I would climb up on the piano bench and start banging on the keyboard, and my mother said, well, if he's going to do that, he's going to learn proper. So I started taking piano lessons at age 4 and through the middle of college. I took piano lessons.
Now, was there a time, I got to ask this because I'm asking for selfish reasons because of my kid. Did your parents make you for a time, or were you always enthusiastic about it?
No. I was, I'm not a highly disciplined person, and I wasn't a highly disciplined kid either. When I joined Cub Scouts, that was so important. I said, can I stop taking piano lessons? And my mom said, no. There were 2 other times like that when I asked to stop taking lessons for what I now know are unworthy reasons. And I guess she figured, I don't think that's a worthy thing. I think she might have figured out that I really had, some degree of talent. That was not Cub Scouts. And so I stuck with it, and she did, it was absolutely the right thing. It was the right thing to do.
That's good. I know from my brief flirting with trying to be involved in music, and I quickly learned, not for me, I better learn computers. There's performing, which it sounds like is the direction you were heading, but there's also composing, and that's often a completely different thing. How did you learn to be able to compose this music that you make?
Well, disclaimer here. I do not consider myself a composer, and I'll explain why in a second. I'm primarily a performer. If you think about this, back in whenever music started, there was no such thing as composers and performers. There were just performers who played music, and they were also the listeners. It was all wrapped up in one, and then someday, somebody started doing something repetitious enough that it could be repeated later, and whoever did that, came up with that was the first composer. Because now there was something that was done deliberately so it could be replicated later by the same person, or maybe even by somebody completely different, who then became a pure performer of somebody else's compositions. So I'm not really a composer in the way that we think of it today in the highly specialized sense. One of the things that keeps me very humble as far as my own accomplishments in music is I am in the company of some world-class, fabulous musicians by virtue of being on the board of the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
Those composers, those musicians, those are composers and performers. I'm like nothing. They are Van Gogh, I'm a house painter.
Well, you paint some nice houses, though.
Yeah, I'm
The
glad
houses
you're
look
so
good.
humble.
But the reason why what I do can appear somewhat like composing is one of the things I was always good at from the time I was a child is being able to play by ear and then just to make stuff up. And to the extent that you repeat the thing you made up again later, I guess that's kind of composing. So in that sense, that's what I do. But it really was just an outgrowth of my ability to improvise and play by ear.
Do you play? Oh, I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
Do you play other instruments?
Little bit. I play a little bit of guitar.
Okay.
When I was trained as a music teacher in college, it was advised, it was in the late 70s, Actually, it was my first teaching job would have been 1978, which was the year of Proposition 13, for those of you who remember that. And it was also predicted to be the year when all policemen, firemen, and teachers would lose their jobs, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
certainly the new ones weren't going to get jobs. And so
Okay.
I was going to be one of the new ones. It was also advised that if you're a music teacher, you better know how to play guitar, because that's very popular. So I did learn a bit of guitar then, and then in the course of your music training, you take day one of every instrument.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Lest you ever find yourself in front of the elementary school orchestra, you will be like one day ahead of all the kids.
Did you ever get a job as a music teacher?
No, I didn't. I was about to, and I was in the hunt, and my summer, college years part-time job offered me a full-time job. I decided to try it out. It was in commercial real estate, and that's what I've been doing for 40 years.
So it worked out.
It worked out.
Well, we're glad that you held on to the music part.
That's right.
For silence, I know when you go see a movie in the theater, the music is critically important, and probably if you saw the picture without that, it would really lack. And I imagine for silent movies, that's even more the case. Would you compare what you do to the movies in the theater?
Well, the first thing about the movie theater experience versus coming to silence and hearing me is the difference between Van Gogh and the house painter. So first of all, what I do is by no means up to that level of quality. But the other thing that's very different about it, and if you think about the difference between, when you go to see a movie in the theater, you are not seeing a live performance. You are seeing something which has been worked on for probably years, thousands of man-hours gone into refine this product, and it is perfect by then. And if you think about the difference between listening to your favorite band on on streaming audio or CD or something versus going to see them in concert. Now, when you go to see them in concert, are you expecting that the playing is going to be as perfect as it was on that CD? Are you going for the sound? Not really. You're going for like the experience.
Yeah.
And probably the sound will actually be lesser. Right, that. So that's my first excuse. You come to silence, the sound is going to be lesser because it's just not as good. But the difference is that, like an audience member in silence, like you guys, we're all watching the same movie at the same time. We all bring to it our experience of the day. You know, did you have a headache? Did you have a great day? Did you have an irritating day? Whatever. We all come to then sit and experience the movie together. Now, what I'm doing is I'm experiencing the movie just like everybody else, except I try to channel my emotional reactions through my hands. And so, and to listen to it that way. Now, parts of it I do have scripted, and I've written themes that I can repeat and improvise on, and that's the composing part, because I'm deliberately repeating something that I invented a little earlier. Right? But 90% of the soundtrack is not scripted. It is improvised on the spot.
But on the theme that you decided in advance.
On the could be. But it's mostly informed by the emotional reaction that I'm having from watching the story, as is every other audience member. So that's the difference. The creator of this particular soundtrack, moi, is experiencing it at the same time as the audience. That's not what you get in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. That's pretty neat. When we send you the movie, what's your process for coming up with your themes that you then may or may not follow live?
Well, the most important part of the process is is the first couple months after you send me the movie. And the reason why that takes so long is because I'm not going to be doing a lot with it, and I need the time to think. So here's what I do: is I watch the movie, I turn off the sound because I don't want to be influenced by somebody else's interpretation of the musical story. So I just watch it, and then I might make some notations about like what's happening, and then I will probably watch the movie 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
By the third time I'm going through it, and I'm really trying to figure out how the highlight parts of the movie make me feel. The action parts, the sappy love parts, you know, the revelation surprise parts, right? The tensey, scary parts. And then, somewhere in that couple months, and it will not be when I'm at the keyboard. In fact, I find it impossible to be creatively composing any new music sitting at the keyboard.
Really?
So it will happen when I'm on the bus. It'll happen when I'm walking from the train station or to my office. It will happen sometime when there is no music around, and I will imagine hearing a theme or two. And then I quickly try to record it somewhere so it lets it escape me. And then I ruminate on that for a while. And most of the time, the first thing that comes to me is right.
Interesting.
Now, for these movies, you really need 2 themes. You need kind of the heroic, exciting, whatever theme, and then you need the sappy love theme. And everything in between can be derivatives of those 2. So I'm listening to these two themes once I've got them and thinking of what are all the musical possibilities with them. And that's why I need those couple months, because you can't rush that part.
Wow.
The last couple weeks, they're frantic. That's programming the synthesizers and putting my notes into my iPad and doing all that. But that's by then the creative part is the important creative part's done.
I picture, but I picture you on the train singing into your cell phone. Is that what's happening? While people around you are going.
I could do that, but that would be for me desperate. I know people do that. That's embarrassing. But my iPad pretty much is with me all the time, and I have some music notation software on the iPad that
Oh, that's great.
The best place for me to compose is on summer vacation, somewhere out in the wilderness or Yellowstone or something like that, because it's, it clears out your mind of other stuff. But I don't always get that luxury, but that's like ideal.
Especially when we get you the movie really late.
That's right.
Yeah.
Could you give us an example of what you've been talking about, like, how you do a romantic scene, or what type of music you'll use for that, or a chase scene, or whatever?
Well, and let me tell you one of the things that I'm mindful of, because I'm trying to replicate for the audience an orchestra. Because, we all know that 95% of the soundtracks that we hear in movies are orchestras. And so I don't want to be different. And an orchestra is an incredibly flexible thing. So one of the limitations I have is the only players in my orchestra are these 2 guys. You'll note there's only 2 of them. If you're clever about the theme, then I can make this guy sound like 2 players.
Okay.
So, for instance, the romantic theme that I wrote for Tollgate is basically goes like this. So that's the violin section, right? Second violin section will still be the same guy, because I made this so I could play it with one hand, but sound like 2 themes. Okay, so that.
Wow.
Now that actually took a little practice to get that like down cold. So in that sense, you know, that's not improvised on the spot because I'm going to use that theme a lot through the movie. Your question, romantic. Instrumentation is really important. To me, a love thing, a romantic thing is going to sound great on strings or on solo oboe, which is just kind of pretty. I just love the sound of a solo oboe. So it would be something somewhat soaring and sweet. So let's say. I don't know if that would survive. I might throw that away, but or you know.
Oh, wow.
It's probably in a major key.
Okay.
Minor keys are for like
For the bad guys?
For the sad scenes.
The nice thing though, it's very easy to convert the happy by just changing it to a minor key, and you get a different feel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Why didn't I become a musician? That's so cool.
If I would have only...
Now, one of the reasons why these things work is because as an audience member, I exist in the same cultural space and time as the rest of the audience member. So I'm very mindful that when these movies were made 100 years ago, what the audience, quote, expected in terms of certain kinds of music connected with certain sorts of emotions was maybe different, except I wasn't there then, so I rejected the ability, the notion that I was going to try to be a film historian like you guys and try to like replicate what they really did back in the day, because frankly, the only thing I can really do is experience the movie the way we do in the 21st century, like the rest of the audience. And if it doesn't sound, quote, authentic to, you know, William S. Hart 1920, well, apologies, right?
Right.
Well, that's probably part of what connects you to the audience, which is why people love seeing you for 15 years and hopefully for another 15.
Can you do a little example of maybe a chase scene and a shootout, stuff like that?
Chase scene. This is where where you've added in some percussion. Now I don't have a third guy, so I program the synthesizer so I get percussion along with like. Okay, I'm going to make it a minor key because it's at least ominous, right?
Okay.
Maybe scary. So.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because I've seen the movie before, one of the things I have on my iPad, I don't have music on my iPad in front of me. I have notes. And you'll say, when this happens, then either change the program, you know, to get ready with the next set of instruments, or it's a reminder that somebody's about to be bopped on the head.
Okay.
And when that happens, you want to hit it right there.
You want to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's
So-
great. That's
so,
amazing.
So I have some cheat notes like that so that I'm ready.
Right.
But basically, you know, I'm just trying to accentuate the emotional map that the movie is kind of showing to all of us.
Well, you know, I think one of the things that's so amazing about when I see you at Silence is after a while, you forget that there's actually somebody playing there.
Yeah,
You
it's so in tune with the movie.
Yeah, you think, I mean, the lights have come back up, I know, a couple times when we've gone, hey, oh yeah, Ray's over there. Yeah, it's just so amazing.
You know, when I hear people say things like that, or then I know I have actually done my job, because I'm supposed to be in the background. It's a little louder than in a real movie because I don't have to worry about playing over any dialogue. There's no dialogue. And so you're a little thicker and more present than in a dialogue movie. But basically, you don't want to draw attention to the music. You're accentuating the movie.
And you certainly do that, boy.
The first time I did anything like this, which was playing a live soundtrack for a Shakespeare play at my kids' high school, back when they were in high school. During the intermission, I was, you know, getting some punch in line, and I heard some people chatting, and I heard somebody say, "How did they get the CD to be so synchronized with the action?" And when I heard that, I thought, yeah, I guess this worked.
Yeah, all right. That's
Now, a lot of
compliment.
people would have been offended at that moment, but you saw it as win.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I wish we were talented.
I do. You and me both, buddy.
Oh,
I'm telling
man.
you. Well, now let's get to our movie, and then we can talk to Ray some more at the end. Bill, anything you want to say about the flick?
There is one quick thing I wanted to say. About 3 minutes into the movie, you'll see Bill on his horse Fritz. They go into a watery cave, and you'll see Fritz go under and Bill go with him. That wasn't planned. Fritz and Bill nearly died there, and actually Bill Hart stayed with Fritz even though it was a kicking, thrashing horse under the water. And I want you folks to listen as Ray punctuates that moment, and listen and don't do like we do and phase out on the music. Listen and enjoy the music to William S. Hart from 1920 in The Toll Gate.
Wow, kind of a heavy ending there.
Yeah, Hart didn't get the girl or the horse.
That's right. Well, not Fritz anyway.
But some fantastic music. Ray, how do you do it? The music adds so much to the experience, and you have to precede it by watching a silent movie without the music over and over and over.
That can be difficult.
That sounds like work.
You know, I don't make a habit of watching movies with no sound, but when I'm doing this, it's necessary. I have a choice. I can listen to it with no music, or I can listen to it with somebody else's music. That would be death. I mean, that's like having somebody yell in your ear while you're trying to give a speech. So I guess because I have a mission when I'm doing it, you know, I'm trying to understand it, I'm taking notes, it doesn't seem that bad. You know, it's like taking your mandatory online training at work.
Right.
And speaking of work, how does this part of your life tie in with your professional? Seems like two entirely different things. Are they related by math or what's?
You know, there's the old saw that people in finance, and I'm a commercial real estate lender, and worked for my Wells Fargo bank for 33 years now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I've heard that. Business people and musicians, they both use math. That's the tie-in. It's not the tie-in, at least not for me. I didn't learn really what the tie-in was until 20 years into my career. And that's when I realized that the creative aspect of what I do musically, which is, you know, needs no explanation, was actually replicated in the particular area that I was able to work in. Because most of my career, I've been afforded the great opportunity to be in the right place, right time, to do creative things, to figure out problems that haven't been figured out before. And when you start seeing that creative aspect of deal making, that to me is the tie-in. And that's why I can get up and be excited to go to work and just love what I do.
Wow.
You take that creativity into the left brain side of your life, right? Or is it
I'm
the
not
right
assigned
brain?
to. Whichever side, yeah, they're in the same side.
That's great.
Well, I tell you what, for those of you who haven't seen Ray, this was absolutely incredible, but there's nothing that compares to seeing you do this for Silence Under the Stars every year. And we would welcome you to all be there for Silence Under the Stars next year.
Yeah, please join Friends of Hart Park. That would be a great way to do that. And you go to friendsofhartpark.org. And if you join at the patron level, which isn't as expensive as it sounds. It's only a little bit more than Silence tickets would cost. You get 2 free Silence tickets, so we'd love to have you along. Ray, what's going on in your life going forward? Do you have any big projects?
Well, my 2 musical passions are this. I just love doing it, and the event is just so much fun, and the energy of the volunteers in the audience is just worth the experience itself. You know. My other musical passion is also volunteer, and I mentioned earlier is on the board. I am on the board of the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra. LACO.org, LACO.org.
Okay.
If you go there, it's super exciting things. We've just selected a new music director who is succeeding a 20-year stint of one of the world's great musical men, Jeffrey Kahane. So it's a hard act to follow, but we're very excited that Jaime Martin is going to be that act. We've launched an LA Orchestra Fellowship in conjunction with USC and the Inner City Youth Orchestra of LA. The 3 organizations have combined forces to offer a fellowship for musicians of color, of which there are not enough in the classical music world, professional level. And so that's exciting. There's just a lot of exciting stuff. That actually the time and effort and the hours that I devote to the chamber orchestra are far exceed what I do for silence, but they are both absolute passions of mine.
Oh, thank goodness for those passions. Give us that website one last time.
LACO.org.
Thank you. And friendsofhartpark.org.
Yeah.
And SCVinthemovies.com. Are you guys getting all this?
Yeah.
Please join us again. And thank you again, Ray,
This
for
was
joining
wonderful.
us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
This is great.
And thank you all for coming here at SCV TV and SCV in the Movies.